Did anyone order a one-man wrecking crew? Who needs a team? A one-man army. Look at this. I got the buffed up golems going ham on their base. Pretty much gonna win it right here. Alright, going in. Oh, hey. Stop that! Oh, come on! Oh well.
Yo, what's up everybody? Colby Cheese here with another of my Heroes of the Storm full game commentary. This time we're going to be doing some Gazlowe. Now Gazlowe, one of those characters that is a specialist, as that's pretty much how they classify this particular guy in the game. And honestly, he is way different than the other characters. You're going to play him much differently. There are different playstyles, I'll say that, for Gazlowe. But what I found to be the most ridiculously, and every time I make these videos I'm like, oh, they're so OP. This guy can win games by himself, and it's funny because whenever you select him in the screen, he's like, are you ready for a one-man wrecking crew? And he definitely is a one-man wrecking crew. He essentially goes into a match and he can be the reason that the game is won. Literally by yourself, you can go in and solo all of the jungle camps, and you will have no problem picking up all of the mercenaries. And again, what I've been learning is that in this game, picking up all of the mercenaries is pretty much a surefire way to always win. The thing is, even though you are not sitting there in the lane and always going for the objectives, which you can do, you basically choose your battles wisely in that sense. Since you're not always doing that, and all you're doing is grabbing every single mercenary camp, the enemy team just cannot keep up, and the only way for them to counter you out is to actually have somebody dedicated, maybe like two people dedicated to just ganking you themselves. And I imagine that eventually people can figure this out, but it's really hard to keep up with, to be honest with you. And since Gazlowe can so easily solo these camps and probably take out most enemy characters that try to stop him from doing this because of his whole turret setup, it's really difficult to deal with having all of these mercenaries pushed down. And then once you talent spec him out properly, you take hardly any damage from the turrets, and then you can get your ultimate going and you just whack, whack, whack. You can wreck enemy forts and their turrets, and you can just push like a boss. Without people just dedicating themselves to taking you out, you're going to by yourself in the game. And that's what Gazlowe is all about.
So while I run around grabbing all of these merc camps, let me go ahead and talk about some of Gazlowe's abilities and what he's up to essentially. So you will see me putting down these turrets. That is my Q ability, and those turrets can be actually changed around quite a bit based on your talents. In fact, I will honestly say that Gazlowe has probably the most diverse set of specialization options that you can take. So what you'll see in this particular video, and I may even need to do another video on Gazlowe just to show how he can be changed up so much. But anyhow, this particular set of Gazlowe footage is going to be dedicated to me running around, taking those jungle camps, and, well, I should say mercenary camps, and just making mercenaries very powerful. So what I just took right there, that talent, there was like 5 options, and that's kind of where you start specializing your build quite drastically. What I did there was I actually took an ability that is unique to Gazlowe in that he's able to buff up all of the mercenary camps, so that if I take those ogres, then they actually do 50% more damage. If I take the knights, then they have 50% more life. So that really makes a huge difference when you start taking a lot of camps consistently throughout the games. Now, I was about to take that knight camp right there, but I went over here and I set up a little perimeter of turrets. Those turrets are going to make it not only impossible for the enemies to capture the tribute, but we can run around, our allies can kite in between those turrets. They don't do a massive amount of damage, but they really add up. If they're running in through these turrets, each turret hits for, I think it is around like 100 damage. Yeah, 94 damage, and that's actually pretty damn good. That's basically an auto attack from a support character or whatever. So we'll get 1 or 2 of those turrets set up, and I can throw down my mines, which stun people. Oh man, I just got wrecked. Okay. Anyhow, turrets. Place them down, and you can do some work. Now, I'm going to talk about my passive next, because that has to do with the turrets. Whenever you are done with your turrets, let's say you're at a mercenary camp, and you placed all those turrets down, you can actually deconstruct those turrets, and you get these little bolts, which restore your cooldown reduction and restore your mana. You can talent spec at level 1 to get more mana back when you deconstruct your turrets, or you can get a health regen bonus. I haven't decided what I like more yet. I actually decided this particular game to go for the extra mana when deconstructing turrets, and that worked out really nicely because you basically get a full refund and you don't have to worry about running out of mana too much. Oh my goodness. So I was going for the big golem here, which was a pretty big stretch for me this early in the game, and just so happened that Muradin was on his way over and saw me going for it, so he was able to take me out. That's not really that big of a deal. Instead of worrying about it, I'll just go for it again, and they're probably not going to see me the next time. The only reason he saw me is because he was in the bottom lane, and he went up to the north in order to take the tribute and just happened to pass by me. So whatever, not a big deal. Okay, the ability that I pretty much never use in this game, except for maybe once, is my W. And the W is interesting because it really doesn't fit the playstyle that I'm currently doing in the game. It's a laser which you have to stand still and you charge it for quite and it's a really long charge up time. And it has 3 stages where it gets longer range, more damage, and then eventually a really wide shot. And it works great if you're standing in a bush or in the back of a team fight and you're just trying to poke people down and zone them out and do quite a large amount of damage. And you can actually spec your character to have faster charge up time, and it can freeze enemies, and then it can also do just a bunch of really cool stuff like that. It'll slow down heroes, freeze minions. There you go. You can see it right there. There's the talent. Of course, I'm not going to be taking that talent because I don't really use that laser ever. I focus more on being just a melee powerhouse that wrecks all of the turrets and stuff. And so that's what I'm going for in this game. You'll notice I did go back and I got that golem, and I'm kind of in the back here taking out all of their stuff. I took out a turret, I took out the gate right there, and one more. I'm going to die for it. I don't really care because my goal here is to just do as much work. I forced 3 of them to come back and defend their base, which allowed my allies to go over there and grab the tribute. And so on top of that, it looks like the minions were able to finish out this fort. Really insane amount of utility, I would say, this particular playstyle will bring to the game. Alright, so the W, don't really use it that much. I'll probably have to make another video to show you like the other playstyle you can use Gazlowe for. The E, which is that little bomb icon, is actually very awesome. You can use it. It has about a 2.5 or 3 second delay, and then it will do a 2-second stun. It's a really long duration stun, and I just took that talent that allows me to shoot 2 of them, so I have 2 of them on call. And eventually I'll have, there we go, 4 turret charges as well. So there's a lot of different things you can spec your turrets for. I actually spec into the extra mercenary damage, but you can get your turrets to shoot multiple targets. You can get them to shoot longer range. You can make them slow down enemies. You can make it to where you can put down 4, which is what I do. I make it to where I can put down 4 turrets so that I can have this massive turret army attacking the mercenaries, and then whenever I go and I do work onto the enemy structures, I can put down even more, and it makes it easier for me to kite around and do damage to enemies that are attacking me. I don't really have to worry about slowing things down. I don't care. I don't try and chase people down. If they don't want to fight me, then they don't have to fight me. I just want to be in a situation where they're kind of forced to fight me because I'm destroying their base. That's kind of how I set it up. So right here, I am going to go for this little push. I took out that golem camp that was closest to me, and it's over here. And then I took out the golems over there, or sorry, the ogres. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my ultimate. Let's talk about this particular ultimate. This ultimate gives me massive amount of damage against structures and enemy mercenaries. Well, I got destroyed very fast there, but you'll notice, look how much damage. Look at all the damage I did to their palace. And that was kind of almost a backdoor type of setup. I took that huge golem all by myself, and then I took the ogres, golems, whatever you want to call them, and then I went straight into the base and started doing boom, 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 big hits. So the ultimate that I take, it doesn't really do much for you until you spec it later. When you spec it later, it actually turns you into a monster where anyone tries to fight you, you do more damage to the heroes as well at level 20. And I'll eventually take that, and also every time you attack with it, it keeps it going longer. So right now it has kind of a short duration, but at level 20, every auto attack just makes it'll last indefinitely as long as I'm auto attacking things, and I will just crush enemy heroes that try and attack me, on top of also being able to beast all of the structures and things like that. So overall, you just turn into a base pushing, mercenary killing monster. So the other ultimate that you can actually take on Gazlowe is pretty damn good as well. It is this big, it's like a little AoE thing that works similar to your mines, but instead of stunning, it pulls everything in and stuns them. So it's a good way. You can use it in combination with your mines, and you can lock down an entire enemy team for a very long duration. So right there, I kind of went in, and I didn't really do too much. I was trying to set up a whole turret perimeter and kiting around that, but they had a little bit more in terms of people there to stop me. But this is what I'm wanting to do. Like, I want to force them to send 2 or 3 people just to deal with me alone. And it's kind of what you would expect to see in some of those split pushing strategies that you would see in League of Legends, where you have one person running around the backside doing split push, and the only way for the team to deal with it is to send multiple people. And what that allows the rest of my team to do is to continue taking even more mercenary camps, more objectives, and take turrets in the other lanes, as you can see here. So that is exactly what is happening, and we are just crushing their spirits at the moment, I guarantee you. Alright, so I'm going to head over here, and I'm going to take over this knight camp. And remember, I have that increased mercenary effectiveness, so these knights are going to get 50% more HP, and they'll stay alive. I'm going to go ahead and take those out. The mines make it possible for me to attack the entire camp all at once. And look at all that damage coming in. Boom, 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 boom. You'll notice how fast, look how fast Gazlowe starts to attack later on. We're going to salvage those and head up this direction. So, luckily, the tribute is actually spawning right next to me, and I don't think any of the enemies are close enough to stop me from taking that. So that's a pretty damn free tribute for myself. And while those knights are going into the mid lane, I'm going to go ahead and do my best to take out the mercenaries. Now, you may notice, if you've been watching me take out these merc camps, some of them actually have mechanics that allow you to avoid quite a large amount of damage. Whenever I'm taking those ogres, they make this little red circle, and you can dodge that and avoid most of their damage. Of course, right there you saw the golem does an AoE attack that stuns you for a large amount of stun, like 3-second stun. It sucks and it hurts. So all you gotta do is move away from that one, and you're good to go. So I've taken the big ogre, and I'm gonna do my best to take out these ogres as fast. Sorry, I've taken the big golem. I'm gonna take these ogres as well, so I can have that siege damage, and I am going to attempt to run in and destroy the base as fast as possible. I have my ultimate ready, and there we go. The golem fully ready to go. They're going to need the entire team. And look how much damage. 536. Boom, 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 boom. And they cannot stop me. I've thrown down my mines. The mines keeps the enemy stunned, and I won the game. I pretty much single-handedly won that game. And that is how powerful Gazlowe is when you play him in that strategy. So thank you guys for watching this full game commentary. Please give me a like for some awesome base wrecking one-man army crew action, and subscribe for some more in the Heroes of the Storm series. I'll see you around next time. Peace out, bros.